thanks for that very kind introduction. As you can tell, yes, my accent is from the northeast of England. I'm not from, although I do tell Americans I'm from Texas, and that seems to confuse them a lot. But I am from England, as is Steve, as it happens, and we both, I came across about 5 years ago for a better climate, although it's, we're in the middle of a storm at the moment, so it's absolutely chucking down the rain, and I hear you're getting some quite nice weather there, but did come across for a better climate. And together we are the authors of the book Secrets to Growing Your Veterinary Practice in the New Economy, which is now available on Amazon.co.uk, and it's on Amazon.com. It's got several 5-star reviews, and it's quite often the #1 rated book in veterinary marketing on Amazon.com. So during this webinar, I'm going to give you some insights into positioning your practice. I'm going to show you why positioning is so important, and suggest 3 markets that you should position your practice for, including 2 segments of the pet owning population who most veterinarians ignore, but who can propel the profits of any veterinary practice when targeted. And then I'm also going to suggest 3 ways to position your practice to be different from everybody else, because really in this economy you need to be different. Your practice needs to be different from every other practice out there. So what is positioning? Well, our definition of positioning is controlling how your clients and prospective clients think and feel about your veterinary practice in comparison to the other veterinary practices competing for their attention. What you really want to aim for, your goal should really be to be incomparable to anyone else. So positioning is what do you do with your practice to make it different from everybody else, to come across with a different message to every other veterinary practice out there, so you stand out from the crowd. And why is positioning so important? Well, in this economy, in the book, we talk about the new economy, and really what the new economy is that people are much more judicious about how they spend their money. They're much more picky about how they spend their pound notes these days. And in the new economy, you've got to have a good reason to exist. You can't just, the days are gone when you could just hang out your veterinary shingle and expect pet owners to flood in. Nowadays, the market doesn't care that just because you want to have a veterinary practice in a particular part of town or in a particular town, the market doesn't care that. You have to have a good reason to exist and a good reason for them to choose you. And there's also plenty of increased competition. I just had a chat with Alan before the call here, and there's a similar story happening in the UK is over here now. What we're finding is that there is no shortage of veterinarians at the moment. In fact, Alan was just saying across there, there's 2 new veterinary schools, plans for them to open up. There's more and more new vets coming out of colleges. The same is happening over here. And the other thing is you've got, because of the economy, and many vets are not retiring as early as they wanted, or as they used to. So one of the reasons is that being a 60-year-old today is not like being a 60-year-old 20 years ago. So for many reasons, vets don't want to retire, they want to work longer. So there's much more competition in the market from inside veterinary, and that includes new spay and neuter clinics opening up. But there's also a lot more competition from outside veterinary. So you've got obviously pet pharmacies online. You've got the big supermarkets who are taking away your tick and flea market. Actually, even heartworm medication, believe it or not, is being sold in Walmart across here. So you still have to get your prescription from the veterinarian, but you can buy your heartworm medication at a reduced cost, much more reduced than what you could buy it in a vet's in Walmart across here. Then you've got the concept analysis. It hasn't happened across with you yet, but I'm sure it's on its way, of traveling mobile veterinarians who are offering vaccines within pet shops, within chemists, even within petrol stations. We've seen it here. So what happens is they offer the chance for you to take your pet to a pet shop or a chemist or a petrol station for 1 day during the month, and you can take your pet in there and get all of its vaccines, and that's all you have to pay for. Plus, it's a lot cheaper than the veterinarians. You haven't got to get the exam and all the rest of it. So there's big competition from outside of the area. But ultimately in this economy, what customers want, what pet owners want, is good value. And notice I use the word value. They're not looking for cheap prices. What they're looking for is they're looking for good value. They want value from them. And the big question that you've got to answer, and this is so important, we ask our clients to put this question on the wall of all of their non-client-facing areas, so all the staff get to see it, the front desk staff, the technicians, all the veterinarians. And that big question is, why should a pet owner choose my veterinary practice as opposed to all the other options available there. And you've got to really think about that question. You've got to think, why should a pet owner choose you